Hello everyone. From this video, I'd like to start systematically sharing my understanding and experience with backyard gardening, planting vegetables, fruit trees, and organic farming. I've been involved in gardening since around 2020, and now, in the blink of an eye, it's been 5 years. Over these 5 years, I've learned an incredible amount of knowledge, read many books, and watch numerous videos. It feels like I could earn another PhD. Let's call it Dr. Gardening. Growing up in a city in China, I actually had zero exposure to gardening. In fact, the education that I received even gave me an impression that farming and growing vegetables were associated with poverty, while studying was seen as the most important thing. But once I got into gardening myself, I realized how much knowledge is involved. Gardening can be seen as an interdisciplinary field that integrates many different areas of expertise, including science, engineering, and technology, to grow vegetables and fruit trees effectively. In future videos, I'll continue to share my thoughts about gardening, as there is so much I want to say. But to keep this short today, I'll mainly share some of my personal insights and ideas about designing a backyard vegetable and fruit garden. In today's episode, I will use Whitehouse as an example to show the sun's shadow effect. One day I got a phone call. It was from Trump. He said, "Are you Geekly from YouTube? This is Trump. Since I'm going to be president soon, and now I'd like to plant some vegetables in front of the White House, can you give me some advice on how to plant it?" I thought, wow, even a president wants to grow vegetables. I better not help him out. So I told him, all right, I'll draw up the design for you and text you in a bit. Okay. So when we first build a vegetable or fruit garden, the first thing we need to consider is the sunlight. Basically, we need to think about where do we put these plants, right? So the position of the sun is the first thing we need to consider. So let's use a White House as example to take a look at the shadows around the White House during different time. And the first thing I want to show is this app is called shademap.app. There are many different tools online, but the function is similar like this. It basically can simulate the sun shadow around your area once you input the address in this address bar here. So now it shows we can scroll down here. Now it shows it's 9 p.m. Today, January. Okay, we can change today's date. January 19th. And now the time is 9:30 p.m. So, of course, it's all dark here. And then what we can do here, we can first change to a 3D model like this, so that we can view everything clear. And we can change the date to December, where the sunlight is the weakest in the North Hemisphere. So now we can scroll down the time here from about, let's say, 7 a.m. Okay, the sun started to show up. Look at the shadows around the White House. Look at the shadows. If you observe it, you will see the shadows is pretty long here. Why is that? It's because it's winter. We're in North Hemisphere. That's how the sun is look like. And then we can actually rotate the White House 180 degrees and take another look. So after rotation, we can see here that the sun is very long. The shadow is very long here. here as a scroll down. Okay, that means the north side of the Whitehouse is not good for planting because of the sun, right? And the south side, as we see already, is always sunny. So the south side is always preferred to plant vegetable and fruit trees. And north side, we prefer to use some of the shade tolerance plants. And then this is basically in December. And then if we change the time to June, see here, we know in June, this is when the sun is the best around the time of year. So we can see around 5:30 the sun starts to show up, and then we scroll it down here. You can see the shadow is very short compared to December sun. However, if somebody see this in the summer, maybe they say, oh, we can plant right here, very close to the building on the north side. Is it okay? No, because you have to consider in December, the shadow length will change, right? So you have to simulate or think about a worst case. For example, for the same fence, right, the shadow length is different because of the sun angle is different. Another thing we want to talk about here is, since we already said the facing north is the best, is the worst, and facing south is the best, let's rotate the Whitehouse back to original position. So based on this theory, we can see indeed in front of this Whitehouse, south side, on the left, there's a rose garden. On right, there's Kennedy Garden. So it is on the south. And what about east and west? Let's play the sun. So as you can see here, the sun shadow will look like this. So either way, east or west only get half day sunlight, right? But which side's better? Actually, facing east is better. Why? It's because when the sun rises up, the sun is very benign, and it starts to heat up gradually on the plant. It starts to heat up the earth gradually. So the plant typically likes that better. That means facing the east, that half day sun is much better. However, if you're facing the west, think about it. When the sun past the building, start to hit on the plant, the sun is all of a sudden hitting on the plants is very strong, and then it start to die down. So the plant typically don't like that kind of light because it can burn the plant's leaf. Plant don't prefer to use that kind of light. So in that case, east is better than the west. North is the worst, and the south is the best. Okay, so in summary, the north-facing side is least suitable for planting. Second, both east-west sides can only get half-day sunlight, but east side is usually better than the west because the sun is softer in the morning and plants love those gradually intensified light. Third is south-facing side is the best for the full sunlight. This is for people who live in the north hemisphere. By understanding these principles and light requirements of different plants, you can determine where to plant them in your garden. In future videos, I'll go into more detail about plants' light preference and categorize vegetables accordingly. For those who live in the southern hemisphere, remember the orientation is reversed, but you can still use the same tool to simulate the sunlight and shadow in your area. If you have any thoughts about this video, please feel free to leave a comment. I look forward to discussing gardening with all of you. If you like my channel, please subscribe it and share my videos to other people. I plan to systematically share my gardening knowledge and experience in the future. In the next video, I'll talk about how to design your backyard, including creating a design sketch, planning the layout, and determining spacing, etc. And everything is free.